So last week, I went to New York for something top secret, and now I can finally say what it was. I got to play Tears of the Kingdom early. Sorry, I am still reeling, but this is a game we've only been waiting like 6 years to play, so that's cool. Nintendo was kind enough to cover my travel out there, and I feel like one of the luckiest humans alive, so thank you. And now that the embargo has lifted, I can tell you about the just over an hour-ish that I got to play The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and show you some of my gameplay. Here were my main takeaways in no particular order. Link's new powers. Link has some new powers accessed by a radial menu. Ascend allows Link to shoot straight into the air and pass through something solid. So let's say you're in a cave and you want to quickly exit to atop the cave, you can do that. Or you're just underneath a sky island and want to travel through it to reach the top, Link can do that too, within a reasonable distance. When you use this ability, time slows way down to let you check your surroundings in the new area, and you can choose to either cancel that action and go back to where you were, or continue and ascend to the higher level. So say if there were a lot of bad guys up there and you were like, nope, I don't want to do that, you could do that as well. Now I can see this opening a lot of doors for quick traversal and accessing areas that may be slightly hidden if you're just looking on your current plane. There's also the much anticipated fuse ability, which lets you fuse either your sword or shield to almost any other selectable object in the game, like say a large log on the end of your sword. Not only does this add to the power and attack value of your weapon, it also affects the durability of said weapon, and in some cases even gives it new characteristics. Like say you have a wooden sword but want to smash through a broken rock wall. Fuse a stone on that sword and you just may be able to smash through. One of the reviewers in my group fused a fan to his shield and was blowing bad guys like off cliffs and such with it. I wish I had thought of that, but it's cool that you can do it. And items in your inventory can be fused as well. So a Keese eyeball fused to your arrow gives it a homing capability. So those of us with potato aim are saved. Speaking of inventory items, you can throw them now, just using Link's hand like you used to throw weapons in Breath of the Wild. Very helpful and gives Link lots of new gadgets to try out, like throwing choo-choo jellies or fire seeds. Kind of related to fuse, but really opening up a plethora of options is Ultra Hand. Ultra Hand allows you to attach two objects together via some mysterious sticky green glue. I'm dying to know what the lore behind this goo is, but I didn't find anything out other than that it is related to the mysterious Zonai technology / powers. But here's where things get really interesting. You can attach more than two objects together and rotate them both vertically and horizontally before attaching. If you combine using special Zonai items, the sky's the limit. See what I did there? But seriously, in terms of what you can build, it does feel truly unlimited. You've got rockets, fans, and tons more I didn't get to try out, but by attaching those to other in-game objects, you can build whatever you'd like. I built a moving hot air balloon raft at one point to try to reach the top of a mountain. It took several tries to get the physics right, but eventually I made it work. I also built an airplane type vehicle at one point when I was traveling between different sky islands after building a failed hang glider. Sorry, Link. I have a feeling a lot of creative solutions will be found once people get their hands on this ability in particular. And I can't wait to stream this with chat suggesting off-the-wall solutions that may or may not work, but at least the game lets you try and see what happens. Regarding Ultra Hand, there is a feature in the game that streamlines building too, so you don't need to remember every complex build you did in order to recreate it. And I think that that will really come in ultra handy. So yeah, new abilities wise, it's all about what you can build. Machines, weaponry, all with the help of this Zonai tech. So I hope you all paid attention in robotics and engineering and physics classes. Now to get more Zonai tech, there was a massive gumball machine looking device that you could drop Zonai charges into and you would get a random piece of Zonai tech spit out. So Trisha's pro tip, I found the more you put into that machine, the more you get out of it. It works kind of like cooking did in Breath of the Wild, where you hold a bunch of stuff from your inventory and then drop it in. One item in gave me one item out. A few items in made it rain Zonai tech. Now there's also Link's new ability of recall, allowing Link to rewind time for one specific object. I used this to solve a puzzle more than once in my demo, and I feel like it would be one of those powers that proves to be more useful than you may initially realize. I kept forgetting it was in my bag of tricks until my other solution attempts didn't work. It's yet another way to creatively solve some of the in-game challenges, but again, I look forward to seeing everyone talk about how they solved each puzzle because seemingly there are multiple ways to solve everything, just use your imagination. Okay, now let's talk about the actual sky traversal of it all. This in and of itself is like a giant puzzle after giant puzzle, just to get from point A to point B. From land to sky island, from island to island, it's all a series of challenges. Now, I did get to see a new way to get from the ground to a sky island that I'm not really allowed to divulge yet, but it was very familiar yet new at the same time. And when it comes to travel between sky islands that are farther than a glide distance away, fortunately, Link has something called a Traveler's Medallion that's essentially a saved respawn point in case you accidentally yeet yourself off the edge of a sky island, which I did plenty in my demo. By placing the Traveler's Medallion down as a save point of sorts, I could try a new invention or means of getting to the next island, and if I failed, I knew I could respawn right where I left off. Now, when you get to a new island, you can collect your medallion back from the map screen and replace it somewhere new. That was incredibly helpful. In addition to the inventive solutions that you'll need to find just to get around, there's also lots of traditional Legend of Zelda type puzzles scattered throughout. I solved one puzzle having to rotate an entire bit of sky concrete using what I can only assume is some type of zonai compass. And not only did I find hidden loot, which is my favorite, it was still fairly tricky to retrieve, but it opened up a whole new area within the game to explore. Now, overall, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom comes out May 12th, and my preview demo was certainly not enough time to even scratch the surface of the scale of this game, in how much there seems to be to explore, how it feels like you can go anywhere, build or fuse anything, and really play the game the way that you'd like to. Now, sadly, I didn't get any info on lore or story during my preview other than what's already been revealed, so I'm just as curious as everyone else to see where Tears of the Kingdom picks up after Breath of the Wild, and if we're still facing Ganondorf only, or if Demayas will make an appearance. But yeah, I'm just guessing like you. If you want a refresher on Breath of the Wild before Tears of the Kingdom comes out, I've been streaming it over on my Twitch channel leading up to the release, and I also now have a streaming VOD channel here on YouTube as well, if Twitch isn't your thing, linked in the description. All right, y'all, have a great day, be kind to one another, and thanks again so much to Nintendo for inviting me to preview The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom a little bit early. You rock. Hey, what do you think the chances are Nintendo will surprise all of us and release the game a bit early? Highly unlikely. Oh!